Welcome by the Exsion BC update and how to migrate reports from Exsion 11 to Exsion BC in 3 steps. I'm Thomas Werkhoven, and together with Tim Gleding and Maarten van Vliet, we will go through all the steps you have to take to go from an Exsion 11 report to an Exsion BC report. I love the project of Exsion because I really love the press on the button reports. With just one mouse click, I get the information, the data from Exsion, from Business Central to Excel within one mouse click. And what we have seen last week when we had this webinar for our Dutch clients, we saw more than 150 people participating, and we saw a lot of people that were busy with the cloud, were thinking about the cloud, or already gone to the cloud. And the main question they had was, is Exsion Reporting ready for the cloud? And we can tell you, Exsion Reporting is ready. Do you have any questions during this webinar? Click on the Q&A and ask your question. There is always time for questions. We will start now with Tim Gleding, and he will tell you how Exsion BC is working now in the cloud.
Thank you, Thomas. As Thomas told you, I will show you some handy tips and tricks about Business Central, about Exsion BC, and I will show you two major differences between Exsion 11 and Exsion BC. My colleague Thomas told you guys about the Q&A. You can also use the chat if you want to, because there are some differences in the Teams versions where some have the Q&A option and the other ones have not. So if you don't have the option, just ask your question in chat, as Thomas already mentioned. Just ask if you have any questions, and we will answer them for you in this webinar, otherwise after the webinar. I would like to thank everyone that they have made time to get into this free webinar about the transformation from Exsion 11 to Exsion BC. And as I said earlier, I will show you two major differences. If we look at Business Central, we have made a difference when you have Exsion BC downloaded on your Business Central. You have here an option and how to use. If you click on this button, you will get a pop-up from Exsion BC with three handy links. The first link is to the help page that will help you with your with the program itself or the installation of it. The second one is the Excel add-in. If you click on it, it will automatically download it for you, so you can use it inside of Excel itself. And the last link is your connection link, or otherwise the SOAP URL. If we copy this one and go to Excel, and therefore go to the connection, we can hand in here the SOAP URL, and when we paste it in here and click on the OK button, we have the connection with the Business Central database. As you can see, I only have one connection here. That means that every company that is in the database of Business Central is now ready to use in your Exsion report. If you want to have, if you want to see what companies that are in Business Central, you can use the search company button and you can see different companies that you can use them. If there are any companies that you are not valid to go, don't have permission to get information from it, you will get a notice when you want to click on it and copy to the active cell that you are not allowed to get this information. So it will be blocked for you. It's a nice way so not everybody get information of every company that there is in Business Central. For now, I will click the Cronus Netherlands BV and click on copy to active cell. If I click on it, you can see here the name of Cronus Netherlands BV. If I drag it down like you used to in Excel, we can see the different formulas for the vendor name and the balance. The functions work exactly the same as you were used to in Exsion 11. The only difference that there is that you now have Exsion BC instead of Exsion underscore. That is a different, that's something we changed. Same goes for if you want to have the egg ball or the name. Everything is still the same except for the we add in the BC, so you will know that this is a BC formula. Why did we do that? Well, to answer that question is quite simple. If you are still using your Navision database and also are using your Business Central database, you can use both formulas in the same report to check if everything is all right and if everything is all right. The only thing you have to have is the add in two times, of course. So normal action 11 and action BC. If we go to the action join or otherwise a download with a join in it, you see a few minor differences that you were used to in action 11, and my colleague Thomas will show you what the differences are and will help you how to make a report in action BC or transform it from action 11 to action BC. As you can see here, everything is almost the same. I only use the filter instead of the connection, which is now not the number anymore. If I go to the action method, still you can use the methods with year, sum, and all the other ones you were used to use. And if we go to the action expression, we can see that we can still use expressions in your download. There are some differences with using your expression. It is the major difference is that you can no longer use your expression everywhere. It has to be an expression cell. Thomas will show you how to make them and how to change them from action 11 and action BC. For now, this is the how action BC works and the two major differences. If there are any questions, please ask. If not, I'm going to give the word to Thomas. Thank you very much for listening and your time.
Thank you, Theo. Okay. Um, what we're going to do now is show you an example of how to transform an Action 11 report to an Action BC report. As said before, on the settings page, you don't have a connection anymore. So the old settings page would look like this, and the new settings page would look like this. And instead of connection, you can use the company. And what do we have to do for converting standard functions from Action 11 to Action BC? Action 11 functions, standard functions can be used anywhere, and each function is a query to the database. In Action BC, the functions are not a query to the database anymore, but they are calculated in batches using a web services. But for the user, it's almost the same. The only thing you have to do is replace action underscore for action BC underscore. So if you go to the formula action underscore date, if you change it to action BC underscore date, the formula will change from an action 11 formula to an action BC formula. And then if you change the connection to the company, you will see that the formula will work. If I go to the function, you can see that the old action 11 works with a connection, with a tab, cumulative index in year. And if you go to action BC, you go to formula, you will see that it's working with the company. So that's a different from connection, but the same tab, cumulative index in year. So the only thing you have to change is connection to company, and then the formula works. This is also the same when you work with the action underscore egball or the action BC underscore egball. Just add BC to your formula, change it from connection to company, and the formula works. Also, the other function of action are still working. So if you want to use the drill down function, you can still use it. If you choose for the web client, and where you will use the drill down button, you will go directly from Excel to Business Central, and you will see the query that was related to your number. So if you want more understanding of your number, just press the drill down button, and you will go directly to Business Central and see all the data you need. If you prefer the Excel version, you can also show details using Excel. And when you press the show details, you will go to a download with all the details necessary. You can even adjust the download if you want to extend all the data you want. Um, but if you go to the more advanced functions, then we have a major change. And the change is that advanced functions could be used anywhere using Action 11, but now expression function can only be used in the expression column. And I will show you later in this presentation how that works. First, I'm going to start with converting a standard download. On the left side of the screen, you will see the Action 11 download. On the right side of the screen, you will see the Action VZ download. And we see the changes we have mentioned before. The connection is changed from a 100 number to an asterisk. The name of the company has to be in the filter. You can do it easily by search company, select it, copy to active cell, and the company is there. And the third thing that is being changed is that the turnaround time is being set here. And what you see is that the report, how much time it is, how much time it takes to refresh the report. So when I refresh this report, within a second, the data is being refreshed. But how does it work in practice? We go to an Action 11 report. The first step we have to do is to change the logical name Action underscore to Action VC underscore. We go to formulas, we go to name manager, and then we go to Action data geo account. When I press edit, I change Action underscore data to Action VC underscore data. The second thing we have to do is change the connection from 100 to an asterisk, and we have to add the company using the search company function. Select it, copy it to the active cell, and then we press dynamic download. If you have made any mistakes, the software will tell you where the mistake is. So we haven't made any mistakes. We can press the OK button, and the report has been converted from Action 11 to Action VC. So now we have a working report. When I press refresh, it will send the data to the same place as the Action 11 report on the same way without any changes. And within 6 seconds, we have to download the data in the report. If we go to a more complex report using expressions, you have to take more steps to convert an Action 11 report to an Action VC report. We do the same steps as before. So we go to formulas, we go to name manager, we go to Action data projects, because this is the project table. We go to edit, we add VC, and we press OK. We change the connection from 100 to an asterisk. We put the company name using the search company function, and we put it, copy it to an active cell. But when I press now the dynamic download data, the dynamic download button, we will get an error. And the error is invalid expression function. And that is because I didn't change it to Business Central. But the good thing about this is that it goes directly to the cell that has contained the error. So if you pick reports or complex reports and you don't know where the error is, it goes directly to the cell. And what we have seen is that we are using the function library. But the function library is looking for the action function library. So we also have to change this one to Business Central. And what we see is that now the Business Central functions are working. When I press the dynamic download button, you don't see any error anymore. And now when I press the OK button, the new report is functional. But there is another change in the expression functions. And the major change in the expression functions is that it will start with a factor and we have stopped it to work with a connection. And I will show you how this works. The vector is not a connection, but when I use the vector 1, it multiplies the outcome with 1. If I use 1000, it multiplies with 1000. If I press -1, it multiplies with -1. I will also do it for the second one. And now my dynamic download, my complex download is ready. When I press the refresh button, the download, the data is available within 1 second on the next sheet, available for everyone. When I'm looking to the right, are there any questions already yet in the chat? Yeah. So I hope all the information we are saying is clear. If there are any questions, feel free to ask them right now. To summarize all the information we've given to you, Exsion VC is ready for the cloud. It's really fast, it's really easy to use, and you have to do some minor changes to change your standard reports to the more complex reports.
I've posted a link to a questionnaire. Maybe you want to fill that in, and you can also post any questions there if you want. If there are any other questions, contact us.
Perfect. And I would like to thank you all for your time and participating in this webinar. We will also post it online and send the link of this video to everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.